Connor says, is there a big difference between a 7.3 and a 7-foot rod? What are your thoughts?
To me, there is. Yeah, absolutely. When I'm doing stuff where I've generally got a lot of line outs, I want to have a little bit more rod to jam them. With a shorter rod, I don't feel like you can. I don't know, like there's just not enough flex, and I just don't feel like I can jam them as well far away with a 7-foot rod as I can with like a 7.3. And even for like close distance flipping, I want to have a little bit more rod than a 7-footer too.
And I think actually, like, it's more than you think, because on a hook set, you're actually taking double the line, because you've got like your 3 inches closer to them, and back here you're 3 inches. You're actually, I think, getting 6 inches of swing.
There you go.
So, like, I think
I never thought about it like that. That's a good point.
I always say you want to fish the longest rod you can that doesn't impede the accuracy or your comfort level fishing the lure or the spot or the target. Like, I will drop down to like a 7-foot rod on docks sometimes when I'm really tight and I'm feeling a little more accurate. But a lot of times, I mean, if my preference, I'd rather fish my 7.4 jig rod day in and day out. Like, if I can get away with it, I will still use it, but I like keep that 7-footer for really tight, precise stuff.
100%. I'm of the same mindset, and I think like how tall you are really is a part of that too. So if you're pretty short, like a 7-foot rod is going to be similar to what a 7.3 would be to me. If you're shorter, like I'm about 6'1", so like a 7.3 rod isn't that long. Like I'm not, if I'm fishing a bait, like I'm not generally hitting the water if I'm working it or something, because I've got enough room between the water and the tip.
But there's something like 7.4. I feel like I can still skip pretty accurately, and I'm like 7.6. It starts to get a little clumsy for me trying to like roll cast, and like it doesn't seem like much. 2 inches is like that 7.3, 7.4 is about the break point for a lot of people, I think, where you start to, and then I think like that's like typically square bill rods are like 7-footers because you're doing a lot of roll casts and accurate and like trying to hit stumps and spinner baits and stuff where you're fishing the bank. But then when you get out and you're casting on like the deep cranking like you would have done at Cayuga, you're going to probably want a 7.6 rod or an 8-footer when you're just
It's good for long channel too.
Yeah. Same with my frogs. Like I've got a 7.3 frog rod and I've got a 7.9 frog rod.
Oh, wow.
One is for target fishing and one is for like Mississippi River and like Leech Lake and fishing the rice, where you're just like
chuck it back in there.
Chucking it. Like, and then you throw it as far as you can and like they eat it 30 yards away and you can still get the hook set into them, right? So
that's true. Yeah, I didn't think about that. I don't usually fish too many situations like that, but yeah, I understand why you use a longer one, because most of the time I do use like a 7.3 frog. I'm usually not chucking it back in those rice fields that far.
There's your sneaky tip. If you ever come to the Mississippi, up in the upper pools, or if you ever end up on like Leech Lake or like these big like massive grass, the long rod is the key for that.
Beautiful. I put that in the memory bank.